It is 4 o'clock, 4:01, and I missed a lot of the Midnight's Edge chat today because I was at the gun range, indoor range, shooting and did really well. And then we had lunch and blah, 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 and we were just doing stuff. So, want to talk a little bit about something I missed, which is the Fortune magazine. You saw the headline, basically turning it's a magazine aimed at investors, and basically telling the investors that all this stuff going on at Disney is Bob Iger's fault. Now, I am not going to take the sky is falling, you know, clicky, rage clicky, outrage clicky, fear clicky side. Because despite Chapek bending the knee, they're going right ahead and they're going to have meetings in Orlando at the park or somewhere there. And Deadline's trying to make it amid the controversy. There's no controversy. Wednesday, they had one person protesting outside the gates in Orlando. Okay. They had 22, according to Andre. And, in Burbank. Wow. Let's all just go, ooh. And we're not even sure those 22 were actually, real employees of any of the companies. There were people, leaving their, going on their lunch breaks and getting pictures with, stupid rainbow flag stuff and wearing T-shirts and shit. But it showed, I think, to the board that they really had nothing to worry about. Okay, showed Bob Chapek probably was right in not wanting to say anything about this Parental Rights Act. Okay, and now they have the Stop Woke bill, which is probably making them, the weirdos, equally offended and equally freaked out. But who cares? We don't care about them anymore. Here's the deal. It's a very small crowd of people. Okay, and there are a lot of people on the internet that give them far more credence than they deserve. Okay. I don't know why. It's really funny, but when I think about everything that's happened in the last 2 weeks, the fear mongering and the negativity has ramped up in some quarters, and we don't need that. As fans of Marvel and Star Wars, Lucasfilm, and even Pixar, we don't need that. Okay. So what is going on here? What I think is happening, okay, is basically the board went, oh, well, that's it. And Chapek is going, and Susan Arnold's going, I see. All right, here's the deal. They could be playing rope-a-dope with, this could be a judo move where you let the opponent's energy cause him to you take the opponent's energy and use it against him. Okay. Not much energy there with 22 people. Not much energy there with one. Okay. It looks to me like they were all wind and smoke, and that was it. And there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with saying that. And I'm sure the board talked about this in the last couple of days, because I'd have been on the phone just going, you made us look stupid with that apology last Friday. You made us look stupid to the board members who are insisting. One person in Orlando. And let me remind you guys, Florida has a Republican supermajority. Okay? All right? A Republican supermajority. All right? And in most of the in a vast number, a majority of Disney employees work in Florida, live in Florida. So you might think, if you're one of these morons who's screaming about the don't fake gay bill, you know, this is all that was about. You know, they depend on people on their side to get freaked out over a headline. A headline, not cool, not good. And it really shows that a lot of people out there on our side get freaked out by a headline. Like we see, Deadline or Variety posting something and we all freak out. It's like, then you read it. Like the first headline that Deadline put out there, more media than protesters, was the truth. Okay. And then they had to scramble to hide it. Okay, but when you open up the article, all they had to do, and what they did again, is they hoped people would click on the headline, look at the headline, and wouldn't read it. Because if you read the article, you realize it was a nothing burger. It was a nothing burger. And the only thing that they did, that Disney management did, the executives did that was wrong, was telling Chapek to apologize. Okay, now, here's the deal. Does he look weaker? In some ways, yes. But this is the bigger deal. Every one of these jokers exposed themselves over the last 2 weeks. Okay, that's it. That's what they did. And it's just a matter of time. Okay, as long as Disney is making money, as long as they are doing good, no one's going to do anything about upper management. In fact, I would be concerned if I was one of the people on the board of directors that insisted an apology happen, that I'd lose my place. Okay, the reason why is because those people were wrong, and this walkout proved how wrong they were. Okay, now I said yesterday that Bob Iger was to blame, and this article here basically points it out. He was the one that put those people in there when he hired them, when he allowed them to come in. He was the one that allowed John Lasseter to be kicked out. He was the one that didn't really do any investigating. Okay, he was the one that believed all women. All right, he is the one that fomented this on Twitter. And the investors know that. Now I'm going to tell you something. The investors wanted him out because Disney wasn't making any money anymore. Okay. And he didn't want to leave. Well, now he's gone. Now he thinks he wants back in. And he says he doesn't. And the board won't. I don't think the investors would allow that, because they know what kind of a terrible manager he is. All right. He doesn't care. He does not care about the things that make Disney exceptional. Okay. Doesn't. I hate to tell you this. I hate to bring it up, but it's true. The things that make Disney exceptional. All right. A cut above everybody else. He doesn't care about that. He cared about woke points. He could sit there and what's really funny is he was the one that implemented all this. The move to Florida. I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago they were talking about it. Because it's a better business environment, I'm sorry to tell you that, woke folk, than California. Okay, it just is. And he was the one that said, okay, we'll do it. So he is basically attacking Susan Arnold. All right, she's the target. And basically, he was the one that went off on this. And it's not about what he is saying it was. It's not about the Parental Rights Act. Okay? It's about moving to Florida. Okay? And In California, I'm going to tell you this. I live there, I know. There are people out there that think they're the tits, that they're the shit, okay, because they live in California. All right, I've lived all over the world. Berlin, Germany, Seoul, South Korea, Honolulu, or, Kailua, Hawaii, or Kaneohe, Hawaii, Kailua too, you know, Tampa, Florida, Carlsbad, California. You know, I've lived a lot of different places. And California is no better than anywhere else. It's not. Weather's the weather's great. It's beautiful there. Okay, this is why these assholes showed up. This is why people like Gavin Newsom showed up. This is why the hippies showed up in the 60s. It was a good place to just start shit. Okay, because it was nice. And it first off, it brought out the well-to-do entrepreneurs, Hollywood, lots of manufacturing and things like that. Okay, then it dragged out the academics. Then it dragged out the hippies. Okay, then the hippies took over. All right, then the hippies allowed a bunch of racist, bigoted people to take over the government. It's a one party system. All right, it's literally a dictatorship. You don't want to live there. You don't want to live there. You don't want to live there. Okay, I would. Okay, it's a beautiful dumpster fire. It's the lipstick on a great big, huge pig. Okay, but they love it. They think, oh, yeah, I live in California, so, and, you know, I am much more impressed with people who actually stayed and weathered the de Blasio storm in New York City. Okay, that's old money. That's old fuck you money. Okay, not these. The thing about California is there's always been something phony about it. The heart and soul of the state that built the state when it was settled by Americans is gone. Okay, the people that went out there and settled it, all right, when it was a territory, they're gone. And what replaced them is a bunch of ungrateful, untalented, human-shaped parasites, ticks on the body politic and the culture. Okay, and they think they're better than everybody. Okay, this is why they don't want to live in Florida. Okay, they don't. In fact, I'm going to say this: they don't care about these laws. They just don't want to go and have to live amongst the rednecks in Florida, man. And as somebody that lived in Florida, who loved the people there, just couldn't stand the weather, and the government, I love the government, couldn't stand the weather. It's very interesting to me how and it's actual stereotyping, and it's bigotry on the part of these Imagineers, etc., to feel that way about Florida. Okay, yes, we can laugh at Florida man. It's funny, but it's really not the rule. Okay, and Florida it's a lot like California in some ways. You got Palm Beach, Miami-Dade, all the way down there with a lot of really rich, very Cuban influenced culture. And you go up, and you go through the Everglades, and you go on the other side of the isthmus, and you've got Sanibel Island. My oldest sister used to have a house there, and it's beautiful there. But you gotta go in the early spring or winter, because you're gonna die of heat stroke any other time. And I'm not a fan of tropics or swamps. Okay, I'm not. I think it's to me it just looks tacky. I'm one of those people. And you go to Tampa, you go up the other side. There's Jacksonville, And in the center of the state, there's Orlando, Disney, and Universal. Interestingly enough, Universal isn't having this trouble. They didn't say anything. No one asked them anything. It's just Disney. Why? Because these people think they're empowered, all five of them, to stand up to the boss. Meanwhile, he's looking probably for a way to get rid of them. All right. And you get up to the Panhandle, where Pensacola is, and Hurlburt Air Base, and all that, and it's not. That's where your issues are. Okay, that's where your issues are. All right, as far as like Florida man, and it's basically Alabama East. Okay, which is fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the salt of the earth because they keep the world moving. I don't see any Imagineers doing that. I see the Imagineers taking a baseball bat to the culture, and that's what I see, but I do not see them doing anything of value and creating anything of value. Okay, so this is the problem, all right? This is what the Disney has, is they got, hey, Mexican Iron Man. Oh, hey, how you doing? There he is, there's Mike. If you hear anything behind me, that's my husband talking to the dog. Ooh, you should see me shoot today. Yep, me and the SIG 938. I'm getting really good with it. So I'm confident now with it. And I wasn't before. That is a small frame for a 9mm, and it tends to jump around a lot. But I think I mastered it's not a target pistol. It's a self-defense pistol. So, oh yeah, those are cool. Is that a 1911 frame? Because that's my favorite. That's my favorite. I'm literally, my unicorn gun is a Colt Defender or Commander in 45. I would carry that. I would carry that. Watch, I would carry that. But anyway, oh yeah, that look. I'm gonna tell you guys, if you ever get into shooting, the 1911 is probably it's look. The reason why it's called 1911 is because that's when John Moses Browning invented that action, right? Semi-automatic action, and it is, I still think, the ultimate semi-automatic handgun, and it is just accurate and dependable. I love it. The only problem with it is it's really hard to take apart. Really, really hard to take apart. Now, I like the double action pistols. My brother has a few, and then my husband's got two. He's got two, a Beretta M Model 92 SF. He's got the other one that was in the running to be the military's new pistol, and it didn't win. SIG won that, and he's got that, and he actually has it set up for, it's the home defense pistol. We've got let's see, we've got the hi Kojak, hi Koji. We've got the Glock version, the military one they wanted, and we've got the SIG version, okay, with the one that they actually did buy, and we also got the Marine Corps version of the SIG. And they wanted striker fire pistols, which is why they went that way. But just for pure shooting fun, I don't think anything beats the 1911. And by the way, the SIG 938 is a 1911 frame. It is, and that's why I think it's so much fun to shoot. The trigger is friendlier. I like that. It's just a pain in the ass to take apart. It really, really is. but we've got a 1944 Remington Rand GI built for the war, 1911 that was built that he shoots only once a year. We've got another one that is GI specs, but like made like 4 years ago that he shoots, and we got the Sig Viper in 1911, which I love to shoot, but it's huge. It's the size of a service pistol, which is tough for me, which is why I want a Colt Commander or a Colt Defender. All right, they fit me better. And trust me, if you go on Insta and say something on the Colt Instagram account, a bunch of guys will say, "Oh, we've got like 10 of them." It's like, look, I have a Taylor and Company gunfighter, literally 45 long Colt ordered. So that comes first. Okay. So, when we have the time, we'll do this, but I want to carry that puppy. The 45 is an easy pistol to shoot too. I love it. Anyway, back to what's going on. So we've got a bunch of bigoted people from California who just don't want to live with the salt of the earth. They think everybody in Florida is a moron. It's probably, I'm pretty sure the board of directors, after realizing how dumb they were, is looking at Bob Iger thinking, can't he just mind his own business? Now, he was smart. He didn't call Bob Chapek out. He didn't call Disney out when he made those tweets. But he fomented this insurrection. Okay. He fomented it. I haven't gotten a chance to see Doomcock's video, but I caution people worrying about this. I think it's over. Okay. Like today again, Deadline posted, Disney, Bob Chapek has, sets management meeting in Orlando amid controversy. Controversy's over. It's over. Okay? The walkout was a bleeding failure. It was pathetic. When I saw the first headlines on Deadline, I fell off the sofa and was laughing. The dog's looking at me like I lost my mind. Okay. This is, that's why I said, I think they do too. I mean, I think Chapek, here's the deal. Chapek should have told the board, I'm not going to post this memo. I'm not bending the knee. When I first said no comment, that was it. Okay, that was it. And that should have been it. Okay, now, he has to do whatever they want, especially Susan Arnold. And I think they got scared. I think now they're looking back and, God, that was a stupid idea. Now, do the Kojak settle down? Do the people that don't want to leave for Florida, do the bullies blame Chapek? Sure, of course they do. They're not going to blame themselves. They look, you're dealing with people that have no concept of or self-awareness. They have no concept of them being at fault for anything. Okay. We're not dealing with normal people. Okay. They went out, one person in Orlando, which okay, wow. That was spectacular. And like what did Andre say today in his summation? 22 people in California? Yeah, that's company wide, Deadline. And we had little spurts here and there, and of course, the idiots on Twitter, but they don't look. First off, this proves that Chapek's first instincts, no comment, we're not getting involved, were correct. Okay? And I think the board's going, we should have gone with that. We should have gone with that. Okay. Now, if there's pressure from investors, that makes it different. And there might have been, okay, which might have led to this. And now the investors are going, God, that was stupid of us. Why did we do that? Because they thought the emperor had clothes, and the emperor is nude right now. There is no there. He doesn't have any clothes. He's as naked as a jaybird. Okay. This proves that Twitter doesn't count. Oh wow, you have a hashtag, and well, it's true. It's true, but I think the thing about it is this proves that Twitter doesn't have any power anymore. Okay. Somebody here, Mike, said that half of Twitter's subscribers are bots. Yeah, and that's true. And that's because, look, you know as well as I do that people with a lot of money are the biggest cowards in the world. Okay. They saw this, they got upset because they thought this was going to hurt their bottom line. And it did, but not for the reasons they thought it would. It did because they overreacted. Okay, far overreacted. It's better not to react to stuff like this and wait and see, which is what they should have done, which is what I would have counseled them. Wait and see what happens. You know, go talk to these people, but also counsel them and say, if this cannot get out to deadline, if it gets out to deadline, we find out who it is, gone, okay? They thought they had the power to remove the CEO, and they can't, and they won't. And this, they have a hashtag, ooh. They have a Twitter account, walkout. And look what happened. Nothing. Zippo, goose egg, okay? Meanwhile, it looks, despite the deadline headline today, that it's business as usual, right? And I'm going to say something about all the stuff that Chapek promised and all the rest of that stuff. You can say a lot, but it's what you do that counts, okay? So there's going to be stuff out there like going after the tranny men and women's sports and things like that. There's going to be that stuff, and they're going to, make a half-hearted effort to, we don't like this. But really, I think at the end of the day, it's like, meanwhile, business goes on. Now, here's another rumor. It came from the Star Wars Direct from Illuminati and Bantha Tracks? Or no, Bespin Bulletin. Apparently, and all right, I went on IMDb to look for this, and it's not there. I went on IMDb Pro, and the only thing I see that's up for anything Star Wars is the Acolyte, and that's not going forward. I mean, you can tell it's not going forward. All right. Here's the thing. Kathleen Kennedy is listed loudly as the Kenobi, one of the executive producers of Kenobi. She's not on the IMDb Pro for the Acolyte. It's just Leslie Headland. That's it. Okay. Headland on her own, on top it says unnamed Disney Star Wars production and in development. Underneath it says The Acolyte, pre-production. And when you look at the ratings for this, the ratings have gone down for this show, while weirdly, the actress, her ratings have gone up. Okay, which I don't know what that means, but they're used. Use it as you will. Now here's the rumor that apparently they're going to do a live action show for kids with the High Republic. Okay, okay. Why didn't the trades report it? I sent it to Kamran, and he was like, "Where did this is from Illuminati, the same people that you know were running around with the Amanda Stenberg flag flying. It's not happening. Look, if they were actually out there casting children for this, now I'm going to tell you something. We could be getting a Jedi Academy thing. That's what that might be for. Okay, or it might be for a completely different production that no one's heard of yet, for some completely different franchise. I don't know, but it's there, and I wanted to address it. The, you know, Deadline hasn't talked about it. Variety hasn't talked about it. Hollywood Reporter hasn't talked about it. And yet, there it is. And if you go, hey, why haven't the trades talked about it? I went digging around. There's nothing, I mean, people I talked to in England on the productions in England, nothing we've heard. People in California, nothing they've heard. They're gearing up for Ahsoka. Okay? All right? So, what's going on here? Okay? It's to me, and I think Cameron was right, that what's happening is that if you look at that ratings for the Acolyte, it's starting to go back down again. That word on the street is it's not happening now. And in order to get the idiots out there who really aren't Star Wars fans riled up, oh, I love this, I love the High Republic. Who's your favorite character? Geode. Oh, wow, he contributes so much to the story. You know, get those people excited, all five of them, because we all know it. We all know it. We all went and looked. High Republic is a failure. It is a publishing nightmare. And they still keep pushing it. It's like they think people want to read that. I don't want to read that. I don't want to read that. But the point is, they have this out there. It is a rumor about a casting call for kids for some supposed Star Wars project that's going to start filming in June. Then where is it? And why hasn't it been announced? And what's the title? And, you can always tell it's not real when they say unnamed Star Wars project. And then they don't tell you what it is. Okay. Hey, you know what? There you go. All right. So anyway, but I really think that this thing at Disney is actually blowing over now. And when you look at the post-mortem, it's like the board of directors made a huge mistake. Okay, they should have just said, don't say anything. Don't talk to them. Don't address them. You know, Chapek made a mistake saying that they gave money to both sides. And I'm going to tell you a story. When my brother Bill died, the hippie, the one that lived out in California, he died of complications due to diabetes. He was in Kansas City. One of the reasons why I will never talk to my oldest sister again, and I haven't seen her since then. And it's been over 10 years. Okay. Wow, far over 10 years. Is because of what she did. Thank you, Mike. I was going to answer that. But thank you for doing that. And we went, he died. All right, what happened was we flew from Hawaii because we were PCSing back. We got to Washington, D.C., got to my mom-in-law's house, and we had to get back on an airplane to go to Kansas City to see my brother before he passed away. And we get to O'Hare, and they canceled United canceled every flight from O'Hare to Kansas City. My husband, because he had these miles was, I mean, was given a parade. They wanted him to get on so bad. Not without me. Okay, I'm the one that had to go. I'm the one that getting screwed over. I'm the one they said, you will, don't worry about it, we'll get you there in time. It was a sympathy, a sympathy flight or whatever they call them. So we're stuck at O'Hare, ate dinner at a nice restaurant, get back to the room, and my other sister, whom I don't talk to anymore because she's part of this massive pile of bullshit, said that Bill died. So because of United's asinine behavior, I miss saying goodbye to my brother. Okay? Now, here's the other thing. They did not want my mom to come up to say goodbye to him. She gave birth to him in 1943. Okay, he was her first. Okay, the oldest, and, obviously her favorite son. And it's a long story, but I was livid with them. Okay, livid. So we get there, get to the hotel, and my sister lived in a condo, like literally kitty corner from it. So we're walking over there, and I see this woman with blonde hair, and it's my sister Mary. And I mean, basically, she went blonde like I did. And we walked up, and we're all sitting around, and she decided, okay, we're gonna do dinner here, and I'm gonna go get barbecue. We're like, great, so she, drove out to get barbecue. And the woman has gobs of money, by the way. Gobs. I mean, she's a millionaire. Okay, lots of money. And my brother Jim is drinking beer, and he goes into the massive walk-in pantry in this condo. And there, inside, on a bulletin board, taped to it, and this woman is a raging left-wing Democrat. Raging left-wing Democrat, okay, who treated anybody who disagreed with her like we're morons. Okay, true story. She had taped to that board a thank you note from the Bush campaign for the $2,500, which is the limit that they could give, because good business people give to both sides. Okay, they can't afford to have a hostile business environment. Okay, basically, this small minority of jackasses basically fucked up Disney's that for Disney. Okay, now do I think that corporations should get it's good business sense? My brother's reaction was like, "What the fuck is this?" Well, I go, "It's business." My husband's like, "It's business." So we're looking at it going, and if I'd had a phone at the time with a camera, I would have taken the picture. All right. To me, it's the height of hypocrisy. Raging at this guy who is really not, Bush wasn't really that different from them. Okay. I'm telling you right now, compassionate conservatism is bullshit. Okay. It's just another way of, we're going to spend your money. Okay. And we're really not going to do anything that we promised. Like, close the borders and, fix education, la-di-da. Okay. There hasn't been a Republican candidate until Donald Trump that attempted to keep those promises. By the way, I say that as a former GOPer, okay, congressional staffer. So in that instance, to me, it was hypocrisy. But because next to it was a fundraising letter from the Kerry campaign. Okay. Now, hey, Jacob. Who's DC? I don't understand. Here's the deal. It is good business. Okay. And I'm not going to take that away from, her ex-husband or separated husband, basically, they separated and he lived in the condo below her. You go figure that one out. Okay. I can't. he probably realized it was good business sense to give money to both sides. And he's worse than, I mean, this guy told me once before I moved to Washington, that they were going to destroy the Republican Party. Okay, have fun. You know, it is, look, the left is full of people with a lot of hubris, okay? It really, really is. And we have to remember that. They don't have any, look, Doomcock is gonna do what he's gonna do. Just let him. Okay, I think he gets worked up over nothing burgers, and really is a nothing burger, especially in light of the walkout being hilariously pathetic. But here's the deal. Why did Chapek say anything? And that, I mean, again, this goes to, you should not ever apologize to these people. It's like me apologizing to my dog after catching him, getting in the dirty clothes and running around with a pair of underwear or one of my bras. Okay? It's like, look, dude, you can't do that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I took that away from you. Dude, do you need counseling? No. It's like if your kid goes over to the stove and you tell him, don't put your finger on the burner, you're going to get burned. He does it anyway and gets burned. Okay, first off, you fix that thing up. But you tell him, look, you learned something, didn't you? You don't sit there and apologize for saying don't go and do that. You don't sit there and apologize for your business practices that are successful just because these people don't want to change of location. Look, there was a rap article out not too long ago. I've told you guys before about it. This has nothing to do with these new laws in Florida. It has everything to do with, like I said before in this video, they don't want to move to Florida because they're too cool to live in Florida. Okay? Look, I lived in California. Right? The tarnish, the gilding was off the giant pile of manure that is what California has become. Okay? That's all it is. And I really think that it's time for everybody to understand that, especially on that side. Okay? I mean, they don't understand how money's made. They don't understand that they're a very small minority. And of course, in that business, they are vastly overrepresented. And they don't understand that us out here, just living in the world, aren't. Oh, yeah. I mean, Mexican Iron Man's right. It went from being like a great state to live in. All right. It went from being, the place people wanted to go to this dumpster fire government. I mean, Gavin Newsom standing by an overpass just recently and saying, "I'm so sorry. This is all my fault." Does he change anything? Does he deregulate? Does he, moderate his stance on it? No, of course not. That's a soundbite. He doesn't give a shit. He doesn't give a shit about the homeless camps. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about the minorities that are suffering in the air, in like basically the areas they live in. Okay? If I'm gonna tell you guys something, if Barbara Streisand woke up and had a one morning and had a large Hispanic family living next door, loud, raucous, very Catholic, she would shit her pants. Those people aren't supposed to be with us. Okay, but those people, Americans, are being hurt by these policies, and the problem is there's no way that cabal can be removed. It is a one-party state. The taxes are too high. The schools suck. Basically, there you go. Okay. All right. Why people are leaving. Okay. I saw somebody, I belong to the Costa Mesa Buzz Facebook page because I've got friends that live there. And somebody posted, I'm moving to the area, Orange County, for a job, and I need to find a nice apartment in a nice place. And somebody posted, you're like the first person, you're like the only person moving to California. Literally. Everybody else is leaving. And what's funny is that these idiots at Disney, California, don't see the value and don't see the money that they be saving. All right. No income tax, no state income tax. And the schools are better. There's more job opportunities. And the weather, it's not comparable. I don't like humidity. I can't stand bugs. The dog would be wrecked in the summertime. He would just be miserable. And it's just, it's not a place for me. If we moved anywhere else, I'd say Wyoming. Give me Jackson Hole and, the mountains and my horses and a place to hunt on public land, and I'm happy. You know, and there you go. Okay, but yeah, well, they deserve that. Yeah, there aren't any earthquakes, but you've got hurricanes. Not any more fun than an earthquake. Trust me, we had one go down the East Coast, but you could see it, even in Tampa. Rudy, they closed down MacDill Air Base, so we walked around the mall there and were shocked at how dark the sky was to the east. I've never seen anything like it in my life. And I've seen tornadoes. Yeah, the flying, yeah, those are fun. Those are like a nightmare. I hate those things. And I've seen them. We never had one in the house because I probably would have burned down the house. But they're not any fun. You know, it was less agreeable to my lungs to live in Florida than it was in Hawaii. I mean, Hawaii is just, if it wasn't an island, again, I mean, look, they have snow there. They have blizzards on the big island. Okay. So there you go. But it's a volcano, it's an island, and, there's only so much you can do on an island. And we got island fever. We wanted out. So there you go. But, there is value to moving there, and I'm to Florida, and I'm not going to diss it for that. Hell, I wish we could, every state in the union could clone their legislature and clone their governor, and everybody would have that. All right? It would be great. It would be, but the first thing about people like who we're talking about, and the people that enable them, is that they're incredibly corrupt. They are. I mean, we saw that in the last presidential election. We know that for a fact because of Hunter Biden's laptop. They're not, oh, cool. Yeah, well, it's, Hawaii is fun to go and visit, but I wouldn't want to live there. Maybe a month, but no, I wouldn't want to live there. But you got to understand is these people have insidiously put themselves into places like the judiciary, the big cities like New York City, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Sacramento, Chicago. I mean, Chicago's never not been corrupt. And, you look around and you say, what are we going to do? What are you going to do? What can you do? Okay. And the people that live in these cities don't realize or don't have any real wherewithal to, oh yeah, you're right, Matt Piranha. They don't have any wherewithal to change it. Okay, they believe all the crap about people who don't agree with them. All right. But there you go. And that's the thing that we're dealing with right now with these people, all five of them, and in the Disney company, is that they don't realize that people are seeing this now. Oh, I'm not going to if you want to live there, that's great, but I want a continent under my feet, and really, I'm more of mountains and aspen type person, right? You've never, I mean, when you see the Grand Tetons from a distance, you can't believe it. You can't believe it. You can't. When you see the sky in Wyoming or Montana at night, it's like heaven opened up. You actually see the Milky Way. You can't see that anywhere else with your naked eye. And that's why I love it. Okay, now the Big Island in Hawaii is got like all 13 different climates on it. Really, it does. But it's still, there you go. But I think this is the solution to Chapek's problem right now. Oh, I know. That's what we did that. Matt Piranha, we did that every Sunday. Because we were at Kaneohe Bay. All right. Hubby commanded 112. We were married in Hawaii. All right. I flew out there late December, like December 27th, 2003, and we got married on the 17th of April. Okay. So it took me not very long to plan the wedding. We had the reception on the fantail deck of the Missouri. So what I would do in this situation, look, Wednesday when they had that investors call, I wouldn't have said a word. I would have said, the issue is being handled internally. It is not our policy to speak on these things or to get involved. All right. The company is going to the middle because we need to earn money. And we need to remember the customers are always right. He should have said the customer is our North Star. This is what we're concentrating on, not politics. Okay? And it would shut everybody up. But he did. And then he apologized again. He tried to explain his way out, and I would have given him that. Okay? But when the apology showed up on Friday, I was like, who told you to do that? Everyone looks at the board. And what I think is but that's what I would have said. And, sit on it and twirl if you don't like it. Okay, we're here to make money. Well, let me explain what's going to happen, what I think. It's going to blow over. The Oscars are coming. And despite Deadline trying to keep up the pretense of, oh my God, he's under fire, what I think is going to happen is, and I wouldn't doubt that it already did, that there's been talk between the investors, Chapek and Arnold, about what to do with Pixar. Okay, look, Pixar is not making anything that people want to see. Everything they've got. In fact, I saw people in Midnight's Edge chat today think pretty sure that the Lightyear movie's going to end up on Disney Plus. Yeah, and that's what I'm getting at. Now, Valiant Renegade said something that I also agree with. Okay, if you want to have that, that lesbian kiss scene, I don't care if it's a millisecond. We're going to advertise the hell out of it. You asked for this, there it is. Okay, make that the selling point. If you feel so strongly about that, Pixar. All right, and then when it crashes into the, molten hot lava below the Earth's crust, which it will, because nobody wants to see that shit in a kid's show, just say, see, I told you. But this is what I think they're going to do. And he might do that. I mean, he might, look, there's enough out there now in the public talking about this that people already know what's in there. Trust me, I went to my old parish in Virginia, told my parish family there, and told my parish family here. Lots of families with lots of little kids. Okay, think about that. All right, and they're telling everybody else. Okay, look, Virginia has basically bitch slapped their educators for shit like this. Okay, there you go. But this is what I think they're going to do, and I'm going to let you go because I've been on almost an hour. So what I think they're going to do. Okay. They're probably thinking about selling Pixar. That's exactly what I think he's going to do. Okay. But selling Pixar and getting rid of the troublemakers, or approaching the investors and saying, I want to make an attempt to buy Skydance and merge it with Pixar, and then we can make all these troublemakers go away. Okay, because the drain on Pixar's accumulated knowledge and storytelling is huge, and all those people went to Skydance and their old boss. Okay, there you go. And my opinion is that by the time this is over, that actually would be a good idea. Okay, first off, then they can keep Toy Story, Finding Nemo, Ratatouille, and all the really good stuff that they did, Cars, and the one about the robot, which I can't remember what it's called, but the rest of it goes. You don't know that Jesus is coming. Okay, so just slow your roll. Okay, you guys still think it's 2018, and it's not. Okay, you're not living in 2018 anymore. Okay, the world is vastly different. All right, vastly different. We've gone through a pandemic. Disney is in financial chaos right now because of Bob Iger, whose fault all this is. Okay, they are not going to do the things, and people aren't going to do the things you think they would do, because it is no longer 2018. It's like somebody working in Hollywood for 10 years, making a short film, leaving in 2012, and demanding that Hollywood is the same as it was in 2012. That's like me saying, I have all these contacts in Washington that I haven't talked to or spent time with since 2003. Yes, Jesus is coming, because they would be having John Lasseter come back. Okay? You're not listening to me. Okay? Again, what year is it? What year is it? 2022. What's happened between 2018, when this stuff was really hitting the fan with Me Too, and he got bumped because I think Kathy Kennedy set him up. Lasseter was railroaded. I think that everybody knows it. But I think that we've gone through a presidential election, which was, oh God. We've gone through a pandemic. All right, now we've got skyrocketing inflation. We're about this close to having a really bad recession. And some people out there insist that we're on the verge of World War III. We might be. This is not the same world, okay? Not even close to the same world, okay? You have to accept that. You can't live in the past. You can't. Remember it fondly, but you have to live in the moment, right here, right now. And right here, right now isn't even the same as it was two minutes ago. Okay? All right. Again, that's like me thinking I could go back to Washington and think I knew what was happening with everything. Okay? I don't. All right. The only contacts I have is the chief of staff for my congressman and my congressman. And I'm a constituent. I'm not an inside knowledge staffer like I used to be. I'm a constituent. Okay, there you go. The world is not the same, and corporations are not the same. The same people aren't running Disney anymore. Alan Horn is gone. The PR lady, Mucha, is gone. Bob Iger's gone. Okay? The board has changed. All right? There are different managers in different places we haven't even heard of. All right? They just hired a new person, I think, to run the law division. Okay? A woman. All right? And when a company has personnel changes, the chemistry changes. All right? So what looks to us on the outside and people who can't read the subtext looks like chaos and oh my God, Chapek, no, that's not what's going on. Okay. Again, he made a mistake and should have said, I'm not going to apologize again. I explained this. I even went too far in explaining this, but I'm not going back to these people and apologize. I will talk to them in one-on-one groups. Okay? And basically, I would have looked at the board and said, this is not even about these laws in Florida. This is about them not wanting to move. Okay? And they're using this bullshit to try to get out of it. All right? Stuff that their Saint Bob of Iger started to implement before he left. Okay? If Bob Iger wanted to affect the world and wanted to be considered important, again, he might just want to run for governor of Florida. And Ron DeSantis would beat him into the ground. Okay, but he should. Damn it, if he really believes in everything he says, then damn it, he should run for governor of Florida. How's that? But no, this is not the same world that we lived in 2018. I wish it was. Because look, if anybody thinks that Putin would have gone into the Ukraine with Donald Trump at the helm, he wouldn't have dared. Go find the video of Trump when he first met him. All right, just go. Trump is 6'3". He's huge, okay? Putin's a little shrimp. Trump grabbed him by the hand and pulled him into him like a freaking bear. And I pointed this out on a podcast when we were talking about what's going on there. And I was like, people are like, holy crap. I mean, it was like that when you're looking at that going, holy crap. I wish we had that still because none of this shit would be happening and we wouldn't be having this inflation issue. Okay, but again, because we've got a guy who's got dementia, Alzheimer's, and who's basically not even really there as president, who's letting a bunch of ideologues. Putin? Putin is gonna Putin. I'm gonna give you, this is my opinion. Had Bill Clinton formally allowed, or at least made it a thing that Russia could tentatively join NATO, this wouldn't be happening. Now think about this. what would be happening? China would be encircled. Okay? China would be encircled. There you go. And Clinton said no. And then this, and this is, and I blame him. Okay, I blame him. I blame George Bush for spiking the ball in Russia's face after Desert Storm. I blame George W. Bush. I blame John McCain for making a stupid statement. When I looked into his eyes, I saw a K, a G, and a B. Oh, you know, Americans, especially leadership, A, don't really know how other people think. Okay. And I will get into that, but I'm not. B, they don't understand the ramifications of even little statements like that. They really, really don't, in the great scheme of things. And they don't understand that not every country is going to be a representative republic like ours. They can't be. There's no concept of it, like Afghanistan. Condoleezza Rice, who's never actually worked in the private sector, ever, never practical experience. They theorize about everything, but they've never seen it practically implemented, and when it's tried, it fails. Okay? Another reason why I don't like her, because I happen to know she's kind of stupid, to be honest. Okay? Comes off smart, academic, la la la. And, okay? Anyway, I gotta go, but let not your heart be troubled. Read the Fortune 500, or read the Fortune magazine article, and look for the subtext. Look for the subtext, okay? Because it's there, okay? It is there. I am not gonna go clickbaity on you guys and freak out. There's no reason to. There's no reason to at all, okay? It's not worth it. And, you know, so everybody else wants to do it, fine, okay? But this looks to me like it's blown over. All right, so I'll see you guys around the galaxy. Behave, be safe. And if something else comes up, I'll come back. Talk to y'all later.